My friends, welcome to another episode of the Nuclear Heatwave Wrestling Podcast, brought to you by Mafia Sports Report. I, as always, am Dr. Love, and of course, here's the man of the hour, the man of the millennium. We have Sauce Bronson, baby.
Hey, listen, I'm the light skinned man with the ashy hands, and the only reason I'm here is because Doc got the plan.
There we go. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, or we just wing it. That's what we do. That's what we do here. But as the title tells the story, we only have what's this? 1, 2, 3. I mean, we're less than I'm about to say it. Like what? Oh, that's okay. We're less than a month away from the biggest show in wrestling, well, at least for WWE, of course, but we have WrestleMania 40 on April 6th and 7th this year. So, as with the title kind of said, we have the rocky roads to WrestleMania. Because one thing I love is I love a good pun. So, we're here.
Hey, the ice cream ain't bad either, though.
What's up?
The ice cream's not bad either. Rocky Road ice cream.
There you go. And I honestly thought about that too. I was like, man, we could have a picture of like Cody's head as the ice cream scoop. The Cody crybabies thinking the Rock's eating it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we have to think that might be a good one for when we're getting close to the WrestleMania. But so, anyways, we're here just kind of talking a little bit about the upcoming pay-per-view. Some matches are already kind of solidified. There's still matches to be kind of figured out. But we're just going to talk, gestate, kind of give our opinions of, honestly, a little bit about what's going to happen, and also what's happening right now in wrestling. And just to kind of start it off, only because I just read this, and I know it's not as big as obviously all the other bigger stuff on the main event, that kind of whatnot. But apparently, during the women's match, that was last week on SmackDown, Asuka was injured in the match. Now, they tried to say that Bayley was injured. I don't believe that. I think that it was more storyline, but they did confirm that Asuka did suffer a injury. They pulled her from all shows, all the live shows from the weekend, which honestly, that's smart. I mean, come on. If it's not that bad of an injury and you really need her at WrestleMania because obviously she's got a big plan with damage control. So yeah, let's make it work. Let's see what happens. But that was kind of disheartening to see because, I've been a big Asuka fan for so long, and now, she's been doing pretty good with damage control with Kairi Sane. Women's tag team title actually kind of means something again, and now she's hurt. Those belts, what, are they not going to get defended at WrestleMania? I mean, they're highly likely they probably won't. I don't know. I hope not. I hope they actually do, but we'll have to wait and see on that. We'll have to wait and see for sure. But did you Sauce? I'm not gonna lie. Did you see the promo that? Obviously, everyone was talking about it, but the promo that Cody Rhodes gave, his nice black suit, his little black suit.
So two things. One, yes, the LDE, as he called it.
Oh and my God!
Did you hear about Raquel?
Yep, I did hear about her. Yeah, that's again, that's another blow to the women's division. She was taken off the roster. She suffers from a kind of a rare condition that basically has flare-ups and whatnot. Not dissimilar to like Crohn's disease or anything like that.
So. I'm not laughing at that, y'all. I'm not laughing at that. It's something else I'm laughing about. I promise. Okay. I'm not laughing at nobody's condition injury, but
I know. So I was just like, it was like this tragic story right here.
I'm gonna let you finish first, and then I'll explain why I laughed.
Oh yeah, no problem. So it is kind of sad to see her taken off, but if she's getting the help she needs, then that's good. So I'm hopefully, she's able to come back whenever it's possible. But apparently, she almost missed Elimination Chamber. So the fact that she was even there was a surprise. So hopefully she gets healthy soon on that.
It's a rare condition in this day and age. Newspaper, then something, and then something. And the grand is sorry, I'll just start thinking about Family Matters.
Oh my gosh. There we go. Let's go.
But to Miss Raquel, listen, we wish you a speedy recovery, and we hope you get back to the ring soon. And we hope to God that you are healed by then.
Yes, yep, for sure. That's for sure. So let's talk about one thing here. We're going to talk about some of the matches already kind of solidified now. I want to talk about something that's not on this card yet. Card's already pretty stacked, but they're obviously, going to have 2 nights. They're going to have some more matches. What's not on the card right now? Jade, Bianca. Now, we've already talked about this since Royal Rumble. They already heavily inferred that they were going to have something in the works. Do you think this is going to happen, Sauce? Do you think that this match is happening at WrestleMania?
We have 3 weeks, correct?
Yeah, pretty much the 3.5 weeks. Yeah.
Cody, yesterday they said it was like Cody has 19 days. So let's just say we have 3 weeks now.
Okay.
I'm going to lean towards no. Because it wouldn't be fair to Bianca. It wouldn't be fair to Jade if y'all decide to throw this match together like a week or 10 days before your supposed biggest, night of the year.
Yeah. Okay.
So at that point, if Jade's not going to wrestle, then what are we doing? If Bianca's not wrestling, then what are we doing?
Yeah, it's a little weird to kind of have her do this big, promo, this big, hype up, wrestle Royal Rumble, and apparently pulling her from the Elimination Chamber because they didn't want her to lose to make her look weak. Again, this is all dirt sheets that are saying this, and this is their reasoning for her being pulled from the chamber match, which again, if you're trying to push her to have this big match, opening match at WrestleMania, then yeah, that would be a smart move. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I think the match is going to happen. But if it's going to happen, they need to start something like yesterday. But they'll have to start something next week, just to kind of get this thing on the card. Yeah.
And even then, next week, 2 weeks before, what are we doing? We just half-assed it. And this is supposed to be Triple H's first Mania, and Papa H, things looking pretty rocky. Now, granted, Brock's not there. Phil got hurt. I get it. So things change. But you signed this woman. She's on SmackDown like damn near every week.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I like it. It's like, what are we doing? Yeah, how you doing? And then you have, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Like you can start like Jay Cargill's not wrestling. What we doing?
What we doing? Yeah. Oh gosh.
Adam Pearce randomly shows up.
Yeah, Sauce's inner Enzo's coming out. I can feel it. I can feel it. He's about to Enzo up.
Adam Pearce showing up on the wrong show. He's not even the general manager for it. What we doing? But yeah, it's just weird. Jade had this big signing. They made a big deal. Her showing up on all these brands was a big deal. Now we have the biggest night. We're going to the biggest night of the year. Ooh, yeah. So I'm just lost and confused.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool if she does have her match. Like have that match happen. Do whatever you want to do for it. But yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't started building that up sooner. But I still think it will happen. I think it will be added to the card, and it'll be a night 1 match. Because we'll talk about that in a minute too. So
the only other way you could have booked this, if it was going to be this late. So with Nia Jax and Becky Lynch, you could have had her be the difference maker as far as the closing, as far as how the match ends. And then you could swing to Nia versus let's say Cargill. See, she not even wrestle, so I didn't barely remember her name. But anyway, I'm gonna get it together. But as far
Yeah.
as I go, you could have booked it that way, where you could have had Cargill and Naya, and just had that, have her show up last night and be the deciding factor in that match.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, actually, but before I actually get to that, we got a chat here, and of course it's D-Town guy. What's up, fellas? Yeah, how you doing? How you doing? Always good seeing you, man. So yesterday on Monday Night Raw, there was actually the last man standing match, and of course the man for Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax, and it was actually a pretty good match. It was actually a pretty, there was some some pretty crazy spots in that match. Pretty, and it was good to see that because obviously the big feud, with Becky and Nia Jax. Nia did Samoan drop suplex it through the table in the corner, and then they like slam through the table, and then at one point she does the man slam, so she does like a Uranagi, but off the apron into the table. So it's like, okay, so Becky wins. Cool. So now the problem I have now with that is that what you just said. You had Nia Jax versus Jade, but now Nia Jax is losing that match, and I get it. Becky's going to WrestleMania. You got to make her look strong. She couldn't have lost that match.
No.
Excuse me. But what I think would have worked better is if Jade had come out and just had a problem with Nia Jax. Like she's whatever about Becky. She's not helping Becky because she likes Becky. But if she had come out to kind of like go after Nia, that could have at least fueled like that into its own feud. We already have it from Royal Rumble when she eliminated her. So that to me would have worked better. And Becky was already going to win. She was going to win anyway. So so I don't know that right off that could have worked. So we'll have to kind of see. But Jade, all I know is this: Jade's not losing. Like if she has her match at WrestleMania, she's not losing. So if you ever face Nia Jax, she'll do the job. She'll do the job, no problem. Now Sauce, I think, is looking for maybe a different job, but that's another story over there. Hold on a second.
Speaking of, well, you know how they have hindsight 2020.
Yeah,
we should call these moments booking 2020.
Yep.
So with that being said, at Chamber, you could have did Nia versus Becky, then have Cargill come in, be the deciding factor then as far as Becky getting over, and then now we cruise along. Nia Jax, Jay Cargill feud for Mania.
Yep.
Booking 2020.
Yeah, it was already kind of built right there, like a built-in feud. So, well, we'll see, because if it's not really done within the next week, I don't know what they're planning. So that's my hands saying I don't know at that point. But I had brought up something that was interesting. So when I was talking about that match, what night I believe it would be on, because obviously WrestleMania is 2 nights. They need double their money. That's never going to change. Hey, you know what? The fact that we don't have like a 12-hour WrestleMania, come on. I know people are like, 2 nights, but we like not going all the way.
I used to love that. No, we will all get over Doc's house at about 3 in the afternoon and not leave till 1 in the morning.
Yeah,
I miss those days.
It was always Triple H. If Triple H was in like the main event, like it always ran way later too. I remember like it was like the one where he fought Roman Reigns, right? For the top. His match alone, it was like 12:45 at night, and he was just coming out on his bike. And I'm like, what's going on? So yeah, it's good. So yeah, whatever. But so they've only announced 3 matches, I'm sorry, guaranteed for specific nights. The Rock, Roman, Seth, and Cody for night 1, guaranteed. And then the 2 title matches are guaranteed for night 2. So McIntyre and Seth Rollins are for sure night 2. They've already said it. That's why like locked in, and of course the undisputed title, of course. So those are the only matches that are actually locked in for specific nights. I think they're gonna have an interesting
the brothers?
Sound. What's up?
What about the brothers, the Usos?
There's not guaranteed night on it because so we got to remember that tag team match. That tag team match has got the stipulation. If Cody and Seth win, then there's got to be 0 bloodline at ringside, or they can't interfere in the undisputed title match. But if The Rock and them win, then it will be a bloodline rules match. I'm going to keep quoting this because we don't know what that is. So I think that was going to determine that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they're going to put, because you have the 2 women's matches, right? The women's title matches. One of them's on night 2. And now you have your problem. Do you put Rhea Ripley, who's been a dominant champion, but so is Io Sky in her own way? You want Bayley to have that second night shot? Because the problem is neither women's match will be main event in night 2. That's obviously the tag team match. They're going to make The Rock them be the tag, be that.
Basically, Roman's main event both nights.
Yep. Hey, of course he is. Of course he is, because we want to hear his music at least once, twice. So twice. Oh gosh, come on. You're gonna be sitting here, the only one writing Roman on our paper, and then you're gonna be like, watch and see. I think Tommy's gonna write that Roman down too. I feel. I'm pretty sure. So I guess they're gonna have the decision on that. What they're like. A U.S. title is obviously gonna be on night 1, Intercontinental night 2, or vice versa, depending on how much they want. What I'm saying, the Gunther match might be put on night 1. So they gotta figure that out. And obviously it'll be locked in before that, Friday. So that last week they'll have everything locked in. But yeah, so I know we're jumping around a little bit, and that's why this is a little bit more informal. We're gonna definitely talk more when everything gets locked in a couple weeks before the week before WrestleMania. But I will say one thing, opinion-wise. I don't have to get your opinion too, of course.
Okay.
The Gunther Sami Zayn match. So they just did the contract signing, because we had to have a contract signing for this, and you have Chad Gable, kind of like giving him a pep talk, Sami Zayn pep talk, and trying to get him in his right frame of mind. Like, he's basically kind of being like the trainer. Like, you have like Rocky, like overcoming the odds, and then you have the trainer is training. We got Mickey, and then it's like, but we want Chad Gable. Like, we wanted him. Like, he deserved the shot. So, and nothing against Sammy, but Sammy had his shot last year. He had Sammy Mania. Well, not really Mania. I mean, I'm sorry, yes, because of the tag team match.
He was such a big deal in the Bloodline storyline.
Correct. Yes, that's really what I meant. But now it's like Chad Gable proved himself as having some phenomenal matches with Gunther. It's almost like I keep watching this storyline progress. It's almost like Sammy's going to sit there and say, I know I can beat you, but I know someone that can really be, that deserves it more. And then, like, think of exactly what they just did with that Cody Rhodes and The Rock thing. Like, before, where he gave it to him. Now, if he did that to Chad Gable, people would be like, oh my God, what? Gable. And Gunther gets freaked out. No, I beat you. I beat you already. I beat you twice. I'm not facing you again, because he's scared. You would see him being scared of him. That would really elevate Chad Gable at that point, and it'd be nothing against Sami Zayn. So I keep hoping that that's where they're going with this. Only because
I think at this point, everybody in America, everybody in the world is hoping somehow there's some type of swerve where this happens.
Yeah. So it's like, they wouldn't keep Chad Gable in the storyline with him if they weren't going to use him. or something. You know, I just it doesn't make sense. It's a Chewbacca defense. It doesn't make sense. Okay, it doesn't make sense. But I'm hoping. I know it'll be a great match. Because here's the thing: Sami Zayn wins. If he actually, I'm sorry. If Sami Zayn does wrestle Gunther, Gunther retains. He's not going to lose to Sami, because there's two things that provocate this: is the fact that you have the Bash in Berlin show in August, right? And he's going in there to champion on that show. But if Chad Gable was there, he'll let Gable win. But then they'll probably have a rematch and he'll probably win the belt back or something, because he's already gave that belt so much prestige now. Thank God. You know, it's been a long time coming for the Intercontinental title. But I don't know. I'm still hoping something's going to happen. But yesterday, watching the promo with him, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool seeing that. But he really just reminded me, like, unless we better get training montage. Like, I want to see you training montage with Sammy or something. I guess that'd be cool. I think that'd be kind of fun, actually. So
yeah,
let's
with Sammy. No, as far as with as much as we all would love to see Chad come in and do the Rocky versus Drago on the grandest stage of them all. I wouldn't be mad at Sammy if he walked out with the belt either. Because at this point, you know, Sammy, you know, he got his tag team win last year. Why not give him some more gold? I mean, besides, you know, holding the belts for a few months that they've never separated. I mean, he has really, you know, he's been putting in the work during this time. You know, whether it's Chad or whether it's Sammy, you know, those are the two best candidates right now to dethrone Gunther. So,
yeah, that's true. That's true. So we know we're gonna have a great match. That's all that matters.
right.
But you actually just made a good segue into another match where, guess what? The tag team titles are still not separated, but we're having a 6-pack match for a 6-way match.
I hope it's a car wreck
for the undisputed tag team titles. Now, we still have 2 teams left to be added to the match, but at this point, we do have Judgment Day defending against DIY, the Awesome Truth. Yes, the Awesome Truth, and and the New Day. So there's still 2 more teams that have to be qualify to be in it, which we'll probably find out this week on, or I can't remember if they're doing them this week on SmackDown or they're doing on next week Raw. But so that's what we're gonna have. We're finally gonna have our you know, it's annoying though. It's like please just separate the belts.
So D-Town guy, he actually brought up an interesting idea the other day. We were chit-chatting. What if they do this? One team goes up and grabs a set of belts. Then another team goes up and grabs the other set of belts.
Oh, okay. I'm picking up what you're doing now.
Then at that point, you know, they'd stand in the middle of the ring and, you know, flex with each other like, I want the belts, and figure out what goes from there. That will be, you know, when his idea would be, as far as booking wise, be a great idea. It will make, you know, great sense as far as how to separate those belts.
Actually,
they're all going to be hanging up there.
Yep. I really like that idea. I like that idea because what they'll probably end up doing is, because now how they do those, you know, ladder matches is they're always on the WWE like the hanger, and then they always just use the carabiner and they take the whole thing off. It's never they don't really do the belts anymore because they're worried about the belts coming undone when they, you know, falling. So yeah, but it still works though, because they'll have 2 sets of them. They'll have one set that's the 2 belts and one, and then it could, I'd be all for that, because it'd be perfect. Because you, like you said, you have 2 teams fighting. One's got one, one's got the other, and then they're like, "Who's the champ?" Then you have let's have Aldis and Pierce come out and be like, "You're both champs. Let's go." Because now it was a hard fought. Because I know it's cheesy.
Like you're both champions.
And what's funny is you say that to both former NWA heavyweight champions too. You're also both champions, and Pierce and Nick Aldis. So, I think that's a great idea because one, I know it sounds cheesy, sounds like oh, it's so weird. No, they just had a hard fought 6-way 6-pack match to win these titles. It's not like they didn't earn winning the titles. It's just now that they're split, and I honestly think that that's actually it would work, and people would be happy to see some new champions like Awesome Truth. Got to be one of the champions. Come on. Ron Killing's coming back from injury, bringing back this team from 10 years ago doing this stuff. Come on.
I'm kind of bummed out that the Creed brothers didn't win yesterday.
Yes, they had a great match, though. If you saw that the match was...
Yeah, I saw the match.
Yep. Still a little green. And I don't mean green as in that they're not talented at all. I just still... they're gonna, I don't want that to happen what happened to Alpha... American Alpha and other tag teams that got pushed too fast, so I don't want that to happen to them. So I think just building them up a little bit more will give some really good feuds. DIY would be interesting too.
I was gonna say American Alpha, like when they got moved up to the main roster, it was almost like a blur because it seemed like 1 week they was together, the next week they were already separated.
Well, that was the problem. Like they got up to the main roster, and I always remember this because you remember when Chad Gable, how long his hair was. He still had long hair. Right? As I always laugh about that. And then they like immediately put the belts on him. They won the SmackDown tag team titles. Like within a month, they were champions. But then you're right. Then they were separated. And then that was pretty much
Did Chad get hurt?
You know what? I don't remember what happened without looking it up, like what exactly happened at that point, because I know that that's before his Shorty G stint.
Well, I'm just thinking, that might because that was before, we found out that Jason Jordan was, Kurt Angle's, his son.
I do appreciate when Kurt Angle had his night when he came back and wrestled, or not wrestled, but it was like his here, and Jason Jordan was standing there with all his other children. That was the best. It was the best because his face is like, okay, like it was just the best.
So booking, so let do a little booking 2020. No, not necessarily booking 2020. Just imagine if WWE would have waited like 4 more years to induct Kurt Angle to the Hall of Fame. You could have had Jason Jordan, his son, induct him into the Hall of Fame.
Oh my gosh. I don't
kayfabe alive, baby.
Yep, I know. As for the other tag teams, I'm not sure who else is in these 6-pack matches without so whoever's else left to be in this. Because I know it's not in this sure because they lost. Pretty sure that pretty into sure that they weren't going to win. I'm just saying. But then of course you had the Creed brothers, and then Alpha Academy. They lost Otis and Akira Tozawa. But so there's 2 more tag teams that will join now. At this point, who wins? As long as it's not Judgment Day, they don't need the belts anymore. No. We're also getting dangerously close to Money in the Bank too. So after WrestleMania, so then they're gonna have to figure out that scenario. Which, again, all I can think about is just imagine Seth Rollins and McIntyre. And McIntyre gets his moment. And then you hear damn Judgment Day music. And then Priest comes out and wins and beats McIntyre.
I think Philadelphia will riot more for that than Roman walking out as champion. I think Priest coming out there doing that will legitimately make Philadelphia riot.
Right. Oh my gosh. I just in my head. Oh, and they have to come out at some point and talk and give the mic to Dom because they're probably going to be so deafeningly loud booing that he won't be able to talk like they were doing before. Oh man. But I'm just happy that the tag team match is there. I wish a lighter match is good because you don't, it's unpredictable. But I honestly wish that the next match I was going to talk about, which is the triple threat match for the United States title, Logan Paul, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, triple threat for the United States title. That deserved to be in a ladder match because you also could have made sure other people are on the card. I don't know. Let's see, Bobby Lashley, because is he going to get screwed and not be on the card again this year? I'm just
at this
saying.
point. When it comes to Bobby Lashley, the way they book him, I can care less.
Yeah, they are. They need to figure that out because that team could be hot. The Street Profits, Bobby Lashley, but they're just not booking them strong. They're not booking them. They're not booking them like the Hurt Business was booked. They were booked, and then because you remember they had an MVP too. He's such a great mouthpiece, great manager.
Yep.
So that might
be. He's walking around with almost and doing whatever it is they doing.
Oh yeah. Hey, don't be surprised if he shows up at WrestleMania. I wasn't kidding about what I'm pretty sure he's got that in his clause, that WrestleMania match clause. That's why Russ had a match every past 3 years at WrestleMania. Because, I gotta wrestle somebody. Like, watch. Here. Right here. Braun Breaker, Almas. Breaker beats him. Watch it. Because Lesnar's not available. I'm telling you, if that match happens, I'm saying it right here, right first now. If that match happens, I was the first one to say it. Nobody said it. I'm the first.
Wrestling World, listen, Wrestling World, you heard it here first.
Yeah, and that's only because, like I said, he came back at Royal Rumble, so it's not like he's been gone for like a year. He was there. He's at Royal Rumble, and he's barely done anything, obviously. But yeah, I'm not really looking forward to that. But they might really put a shine on Breaker to have him beat him, and that would be great for him. Even though almost is whatever, it still would be a huge win for him and at WrestleMania. So it would just be a filler match, real quick filler match, but there's going to have to be a couple of those. There's going to have to be a couple of these matches be thrown in the card because, I'm not saying that like each night's going to have 7 matches. I'm pretty sure. In my opinion. I don't know. That's me. That's what I got. That's what I got. I'm trying to think. Oh, there we go. My phone was yelling at me. Oh, there we go. So you were talking about earlier about the Usos. We finally get this: the brother versus brother. I still want
to. So real quick. Yeah. So I was looking, and it looks like. Pretty much it seems like every 15 years there's a brothers match.
Yep, you're right. Matt and Jeff Hardy fought at WrestleMania 25. Which
was 15 years ago.
Yep. And then you had Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. Yep, Bret Hart and Owen Hart. So,
which was 15 years from there.
So interesting. I was
on Instagram and I was looking at the dates. I mean, as far as the Manias, and I was looking, I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, these are all literally like 15 years apart from each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I mean, and what's crazy is every one of those feuds were built up to it and had a pretty good match, like especially Bret and Owen Hart. The Hardy Boys one felt forced at first because it was a turn that happened at Royal Rumble that year.
Yeah.
But they built it up great. And then their match they had at WrestleMania was brutal, man. It was actually a brutal match. So, and Matt Hardy won. Like like Jeff Hardy didn't win that match. That's the best part about it. I remember like watching it, going, man, he beat the living shit out of him, and then he still beat him. There was no like overcoming the thing. No, he beat him. He's like uncle, like when you were kids, like uncle, sit down, stay. And then, of course, now you have the beautifully built-up storyline with the bloodline, the brothers versus brother, and that's going to tear the house down. I'm really surprised that they're not just calling this like a Philly street fight or something, or I don't know, just because it's Philadelphia, of course. But I feel like it really needs to be some kind of no DQ type match. It doesn't have to be super over the top, but to me, it needs to have that little punch. So no little interference would be like could cause the end of it. It wouldn't. There's going to be a clear winner, of course, but what's crazy is I'm thinking Jimmy's going to win that match. I don't know what your opinion is. I know Jay, it makes sense for Jay, but I don't know. I think Jimmy's going to win, but you're going to get kind of the not on the complete scale, but how the Shawn Michaels Ric Flair like emotion in it as he beats him. I don't know. I just because
I can see something like that where I can see a situation where Jay wants to do like a finishing blow, and he feels bad for his brother, and then his brother basically, plays possum, gets him with the greatest wrestling move of all time, the roll-up pin.
Roll up, the schoolboy.
He gets him back,
schoolboy.
He walks away laughing diabolically.
That works too. See, I love it. That's where there's all these different kind of storylines that could work. Yesterday, when they were talking and they did their promo on Raw, they talked about how you're still my brother. I love you. And that's never going to change. So it's just kind of like knowing that they still have that going on. But the crowd is fully behind Jay at this point. So it's going to be interesting. I think that match will be night one, though. Now that we were talking about it, I think that'll be a night one match. Because they want that bloodline to be going into their match, their main event match, that tag team match, all intact. So I think if that happens, then it's going to happen night one. But I think, hey, what do we know? I don't know. We don't know much, but we know some things. But it should be a good match. I think it'll be a good match. They'll give them like 20 minutes too. I think they'll give them 20 minutes to fight in that match. And we'll have to make sure to have drinks on hand for super kicks for sure. There's going to be many super kicks.
Hey, shout out to Jay Uso. How, as far as everybody does the Stone Cold what?
Yeah.
In their promos, they're doing Yeet in his promos.
Yep. Well, I'm glad they took care of that issue with that licensing issue because, it's kind of cool that, the one wrestler had, trademarked that, all this stuff. Yeah, but come on, you're Endeavor. You're a multi-billion-dollar company. At that point, just talk to them a little bit and give them some money. And then guess what? It's yours now, and that's what happened, obviously. Because did you see the T-shirt sales he was having? His merch was so high, it was so sold. So they knew that they couldn't not do something about it. That guy, I'm curious how much that guy made though, money-wise. Do you think
TKO just gave him a big lump sum, or do you think he's getting royalties? He's getting paid royalties per shirt.
I think the lump sum makes more sense because you'll sell the stuff for a longer basis. They gave him a good amount that he probably never would ever get wrestling, probably for the majority of his life, probably. I assume it was probably a lump sum, but again, we don't know, But guess what? We have Yeet shirts, so obviously something happened. But so as I was talking a little bit, and then we kind of jumped back to the Usos. That triple threat match of Logan Paul and Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, one of my boys. Okay, I like him. This match still is very weird. This should have been a ladder match. I don't think the tag match should have been a ladder match. I think this should have been the ladder match. And they should have probably added, again, we talk about Bobby Lashley. They should have added Ricochet in the match. I'm just saying. They already had this kind of feud with Ricochet and Logan Paul. Tit for tat going back and forth on these moves. So let them battle it out because you don't get pinned or submitted in this type of match. So to me, that's the best thing for Logan Paul. Obviously on a triple threat, he doesn't have to be pinned either. I get it. So if you want the belt off of him, put him in this high flying match. other people are in it. It's just like the Money in the Bank of old, or when they used to like the Intercontinental title in a ladder match, or it just makes sense. It just makes sense. So when they announced that this was just a singles, oh no, a triple threat match, I was like, well, there's other people that could be in this match, and they're just going to be left off the card, So it just feels like Randy Orton's back, so let's make sure Randy Orton's on WrestleMania. That's what this really feels about. Because Kevin Owens and his feud with Logan Paul is great. Kevin Owens is like golden when it comes to like his real snarky, half meta, half like breaking fourth wall, kayfabe, conversations he has. But it's like Randy Orton's in there like, hey, I don't like you. Okay, cool. And Randy Orton's GOAT. He is. But he's just kind of, I feel like this is the best part. They're gonna laugh. I feel like he feels like what we felt like when we were at our buddy's party, Halloween party a couple years ago. Remember, that's how I think Randy Orton feels now when he popped in like this match.
So to give y'all some context, we have a buddy of ours who had a Halloween party 2 Halloweens ago.
Yep.
We went there. So the Dollar River Deli showed up. We were there. When we first got there, we had intentions pretty much hang out. Seems like after 30 minutes, we were there to be chaperones. At least that's the way I looked at it. I looked at one of my buddies, and I looked at him and said, I feel like someone's father just standing here. And he said, I feel the same way too.
Yeah. So that's
for a second I felt like, okay, you know what? I guess there's certain areas, places where you feel like you're too old to be, and that definitely felt like one of them.
Yeah,
everybody there. Exactly. The average age there was like 20, 21. So
that's why my beard just like foomp, got all the gray just popped in too.
Right.
But you're talking to two. I'm turning 40 this year. Sauce is already 40, so it's we got the Edward 40 hands here. I'm just saying. But so anyways, that's how I feel Randy Orton might have to feel. I know. Yeah. Hey, at least we did it. We did it.
I don't know why I'm doing this.
I don't know either. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing with my hands.
Like, there's a lot of fours going around. Okay.
I don't know. I don't even know.
I want to say out of our wrestling group, I think I might be the third oldest.
Probably, yeah, because
Chad Too Bad.
For sure. And then
that guy. I think he's born a couple months before me.
Yep.
And then CBM.
Oh yeah, yep.
I take it back. I'm probably the fourth. Okay, I'm probably the fourth oldest. Because when's CBM's birthday?
December. So no, you probably.
No, I'm number 3. Okay.
Yep, you're older than him by.
I was gonna say you of all people should know CBM's birthday.
I'm like, I forgot. Well, because we're talking about CBM for a second. I kind of, I got it for the allure of CBM. We got it because he is the man. But
okay.
So getting back to this match though, Logan Paul, as it is right now, Logan Paul, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Sauce. Who do you got?
Let's say that for the preview show.
Okay. I like this. Okay. So let's go with
thoughts about it right now. I'm like, nah, that's how I feel about it.
Let's go with my booking. I
just wish it wasn't a triple threat match. Like Logan Paul and Kevin Owens, they should have just finished their feud, wrap their feud up. They could have wrapped it up SmackDown right after the Chamber. It could have been just Randy Orton and Logan Paul. Just going down the road to Mania.
Yep. Yeah, that would have been cool. And that's where the booking 2020 comes in play. We can see so far everything storyline wise with the promos have been great. And then the match, yeah, they're going to throw everything they have at each other. We already know Logan Paul's got the ability for it. So now you're going to see Kevin Owens going to throw everything at him. But then you're going to see Randy Orton come out with the RKO out of nowhere, and he's going to be like, okay, I'm here. I did my stuff. He'll punt somebody. He'll be like, here, I'm going to punt. Here, KSI's taking a punt. I don't know why. He's taking a punt in that match. He's already
he took a table spot last year, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's going to come in there and like push him away from getting punted, and he'll take the punt or something. I don't know. I just see that happening, and it works great though, because everyone's like, well, Randy Orton gives a face like this. All right, whatever. Yeah, I'm here. So yeah, so let's talk about this next match here, and this is I'm happy that it's on the card, but it still annoys me a little bit. So you have LA Knight versus AJ Styles, and basically a feud that just got created at Elimination Chamber. Because you had the returning AJ Styles, and he's because I remember we talked about literally 5 minutes before in Elimination Chamber how I was like, hey, man, you know what this chamber would have been great with? If AJ Styles was in this. Because, he deserves to be in this. And then he literally comes in and, and beats up on LA Knight to force him to get eliminated and stuff.
These matches, they should swap people. Like, you could have had AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. It would have been, fill a spot for the veterans, do their thing. Then you could have threw LA Knight into the triple threat of the U.S. title.
It literally works so much better, too, because you got the LA Knight versus Logan Paul, like, right there, jaw jacking against each other, feud. Like, that already works right there. Kevin Owens can work with anybody in that type of feud. And then, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, that would have worked great, especially because you had the returning, Randy Orton come back, working as the face at this point.
And you could have made it a big deal because correct me if I'm wrong, Doc.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think them two have ever faced each other.
That's a good point. I don't think so. No, because I was thinking about what matches he had, and I don't think they did. No. So if they did, I'm not. Well, did they have anything when he was like U.S. champion though? Remember that brief time that Randy Orton was the U.S. champion? I can't remember if AJ was also part of on that feud too. I don't think so, but it's hard because I know Randy had that feud with Jeff Hardy. Remember that when he was the villain on that? I can't remember if he was on the periphery of that or something different, but I don't remember it. I don't remember any match that he had.
What's the name of that wrestling almanac that you told me about last week?
Oh, yes. CageMatch.net. Not a sponsor, but you know what? Hey, we can be a sponsor, and we'll find someone to make a mobile app for you. That'd be great. There you go.
Yeah, it's 2024, guys. Like, why are we still having desktop versions on a phone?
I mean, yeah, seriously, we're laughing, but no, make an app, please. But it is great.
No, I'm just Google this. AJ Styles versus Orton.
And we've got there we go. We got the man in the chair. Working that.
I see through the 4-ways. Yeah, I think that's about it. Like, I don't see nothing on Google that says anything about a Randy Orton versus the AJ Styles.
Now that tells you something. I mean, that would be right there is a great thing. That's a great thing right there. You can build up.
So Doc, this is twice now in 2024 where LA Knight is in the wrong match.
Yep. Correct.
Yeah.
He's still popular, but it's just what are you doing? Come on, get him.
He should have been in the Rumble, and right now he should be facing Logan Paul.
Yes. Yep. And so right now his biggest accolade is that he was the SummerSlam Battle Royal champion.
And we all know how that usually works out. Will you a battle royal champion?
Yeah, and they
I don't want to be a Danny Downer, but I'm just saying. I mean, well, to be fair, Braun Strowman finally won the Universal Championship like 6 years after he won his battle royal.
Oh wait, yeah, he's still currently champion, the
Oh,
greatest,
yeah.
greatest Royal Rumble
Champion, yeah.
Oh god, he's
The Saudi Arabia, the Saudi Rumble champion,
yeah. That was rough. That was a rough one right there. But because the belt was so bad, it was like I said, it was such a bad.
Like that green belt was kind of dope. I ain't gonna hold you up.
Well, that's not that I didn't hate the strap. It's just if you actually look at the belt was clearly like a bad reproduction of a belt. It's like they didn't even want to spend the money to make a real nice belt. They just got, and that's the worst part about it, I think. But no, it is what it is. It is what it is. I think it's kind of funny just going through all these matches and having our I like the booking 2020. That's going to be a new thing. We're going to talk about that for sure. Because what I want to do actually is we'll talk about these things, probably stuff that will happen later down in the year. But I want to get a spreadsheet up or something, and we'll be like, this show we talked and we said that this is going to happen then, and we'll be like, what? Hey, wait a minute. Did this happen? Let's take a look. Let's look at the chart. Let's look at the tape. There's no tape. There's no tape, love. It's expression. It's expression. We've got a buddy that if I sit there and say I taped this show, I taped this wrestling. You don't tape it. You're not taping anything now. It's on a DVR. I'm like shut up. Shut up. Look, I guarantee everyone that's watching this on a computer or anything, you go pull up anything where you have to save. What does the save icon look like? Yeah, floppy disk. When was the last time we used floppy disks? Just saying. It's
2001.
There you go. See?
No, I'm sorry, 2003.
See? So
and by then they wasn't it wasn't floppy disk. It was what's that? It's that stupid they look like floppy disks, but I can't remember now. Let's just say 2000. Listen, guys, just believe me. It was 2023. It was 2003. Okay, just believe me.
We've went down the rabbit hole now because I'm now talking about floppy disks. But there we go.
So Doc, we're on our way to Heat of the Week yet?
Yeah. Just a couple other things about the women's matches. So you have your two women's title matches. You have Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. Rhea Ripley, the dominant female champion. And this match, I feel like the wrong person won the Rumble. That's just my opinion. I think Becky, people like her. Sometimes she gets popular, then it goes away, then she gets popular again. And it's like they really pushing for her to win. I get that. Rhea doesn't really need the belt because she's already so over. She's like that champion. She's like that. She's made that belt legitimate, and that's great. But I just don't see why Becky would win. Because here's the problem. Becky wins, cool. Great. You have a really good match, and then Becky wins. I guarantee you within 3 months, she'll lose that belt to somebody else. I guarantee it. And it's as long as the feud works, I'm always fine with it. Sometimes you see belts jumping around. If it works for the feud, it's okay. You want to build the title up, hence Gunther with his big long Intercontinental title reign. To extent, of course, Roman Reigns, with the Universal title, yada yada yada. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, she's been champion since SummerSlam, the one we went to when she cashed in against Bianca Belair. So it's at least it can open up some other storylines because Rhea Ripley doesn't really need the title. So if she won, I wouldn't be completely mad about it, but it really just kind of defeats the purpose of that. So we'll see on that. And with Io Sky and Bailey, though, there is only one clear answer. Bailey has to win.
It's got to be Bailey.
And what's crazy about this, and we talked about this when Bailey first came back in Damage Control, we talked about how much of a failure it was because Bailey was given shot after shot after shot for the title and would lose to Bianca clean and over again. So we were like, it's dead in the water. She's done, over. And somehow they figured out a way to make the storyline work, long-term storytelling, to build up the team, bring back Kairi Sane, bring Asuka in the mix, and then basically slowly forcing Bailey out. Like it was just, and making her naturally the face because people like her anyways. They like when she's being a heel, but it worked. So Izzy Marino is going to be there. I'm calling that for sure. Calling it. She'll be front row of that match at WrestleMania, and she will interfere in the match for Bailey's.
She's a wrestler now.
She's a wrestler, and it would be just the perfect way to cap it off. And she will bring back some variation of the wacky waving, inflatable, arm flailing tube men. She will. She will, and that's a booking 2020 promise from this guy, Dr. Love. Yeah, so it's going to be a good show. They'll probably add, like I said, maybe 3 more matches, probably. But depending on what's up with Asuka, if she's actually too hurt to wrestle, then they won't be able to do that women's tag team match. Because they're starting to build that up right now. Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae, they're making her like a feud, like a bad guy, a heel. I'm like, it's hard to take you seriously. I'm looking down at you like, oh, you're yelling at me? That's cool. Like flickering the head or something.
Like,
shoot. Yeah, that's what I mean. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. So they might, I don't know. Bring back the Andre. Bring back the gimmick battle royal. Let's go.
Yeah,
it was so terrible.
I'm down for the gimmick battle royal. When it's a time waster, you watch pay-per-view, you got to go pee, and you just need to walk away for like 10 minutes just to decompress, then recompress, and get back to wrestling.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be great because you'd have like the Boogeyman. He can come back. He come in there because
Hey, listen, if Boogeyman come back, listen, he win. I'm just letting you know that right now.
Oh yeah, I'd have him win it for sure. Actually, Marty Wright.
Like how they did Iron Sheik at WrestleMania 17 because he couldn't take a bump.
Nope. And how long he took to get to the ring. They were like, it's going to be WrestleMania 38 by the time he gets to the ring, and then now we're actually past it. So how funny is that? So. So that made me laugh thinking about that. If they're going to abandon completely the Andre the Giant Battle Royal because they've been doing it on like the SmackDown before in the recent years instead of actually on the show, whatever. Let them get a paycheck. Let them get a WrestleMania paycheck. Do the Battle Royal. Come on, you have enough people.
I mean, at this point, you have everybody and their little brother, on the Mania card. So why not just throw an extra match on there? So everybody gets a WrestleMania payday now. So why not?
And like you said, it gives a good chance for a break. I still think possibly Braun Breaker Omos. I think that Omos might happen just to showcase Braun Breaker and his power, strength, that kind of stuff. So. We shall see if any of this comes to fruition. We shall see. But yeah, that's pretty much our preliminary WrestleMania kind of like thoughts. But again, we will definitely be talking about the full preview and the not next week, but the week after. So, but yeah, so we're going to kind of roll right into it here. We're going to roll into the heat of the week. So. For the heat of the week, Sauce, any ideas? Anything jumped out at you this week?
I mean, I got mine, but did you want to go first? If it's something on your tip of the tongue that you need to get out?
Oh no, that's fine. You can go first. That's fine.
So I would say my heat of the week right now is Paul Heyman for one specific reason.
There we go.
So when you brought up Matt versus Jeff Hardy with their feud, who got elevated and who went straight to Sunday Night Heat?
Yep.
Which Hardy got pushed down to pretty much velocity? Pretty much
Yeah.
Matt. Because
Matt
after the
did.
feud, he had nothing going to the point where he was the main. I don't know if you remember this. They reintroduced Saturday Night main event.
Yep.
Obviously, it was nowhere near as prestigious as it used to be when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well just been Saturday Night Heat. Do you remember who the main event of that was?
I don't remember off the
It was
top of my
Matt
head.
Hardy and somebody else.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy
I remember going to a Saturday night main event when they brought it back at Cobo, the old Cobo Arena.
Right.
But I don't remember that match. So
and he got squashed. Do you final answer, do you remember who it was?
oh gosh.
The top guy on Saturday Night main event.
It wasn't like Gene Snitsky, was it?
No, I said top guy.
Oh, top guy. Oh, you did say top guy. I'm sorry, my bad. Okay. Is he still wrestling?
No.
Okay. Well, okay. Apparently not. Okay.
If you got nothing, let me know.
All right, let's go. I don't know. Yeah.
He got squashed by the Undertaker.
What?
Yes.
What?
I remember watching this because I remember I somehow got off work. I somehow remember I only had to work Saturday morning, and I was really excited because it was bringing back Saturday Night main event. I cleared my whole evening schedule to watch this show, and it was Undertaker versus Matt Hardy. Undertaker squashed Matt Hardy in less than like 5 minutes, and then Matt Hardy just basically got buried. You know, he just basically squandered for the next few years. While Jeff Hardy, even though he screwed up so much, and according to Vince McMahon, Jeff Hardy was on his 8th second chance, and he, still, his stock went up. He still rose above it all. The reason why I'm saying Paul Heyman is because what he's doing for Jimmy. Because normally when these tag teams break up, somebody's got to be Shawn Michaels and somebody's got to be the Marty Jannetty. It rarely works out where both guys go off and be successful doing their thing.
Yep.
And we knew main event Jay. He was on his way. He was going to be that guy. But Jimmy is finding his stride, and he's being entertaining as hell. And even if he loses a match, it's not like it doesn't feel like we're watching him get buried.
I like that. It's a good point. I like that a lot.
Like the way
like
as far as his booking and the way Paul Heyman is the way Paul Heyman is working with him. Like, Jimmy's one of the main reasons why we watch SmackDown Friday nights, because we want to see what stupid antics he's up to with his brother or with Roman. Oh, and so let's say shout out to Paul Heyman.
There you go. And just a side note before I do my heat of the week, I know for the Hall of Fame, which we'll talk about next week and whatnot. I know in the week before WrestleMania, the Paul Heyman's being inducted to the Hall of Fame. I would love if it like Bully Ray, like Bubba Ray Dudley, would induct him in the Hall of Fame. Because you're in the Philadelphia crowd, it'd be great to have an original ECW alumni, someone. Because remember, like he was like near the end, like last 2 years, it was like him, Tommy Dreamer, and Heyman that like ran it. Like when there were some of the funds were like basically depleted, they were the ones that like booked and helped run the ECW at that time. So it would be so cool if he was the one that inducted him in the Hall of Fame. But I'm curious who they're going to get, though. I don't think it's going to be him, but it would be cool to see that. So, but as for my heat of the week, it's just a little different, but only because it was another thing that I just thought was cool how the wrestling community works together which that doesn't really happen, is that you have you got what's his name, Josh Barnett's Bloodsport match he's got coming up, which never really knew about it until Chad Too Bad showed us a little bit about it in the past couple years ago. But yeah, it's like wrestling, extreme, no rope, stuff like that. Moxley's wrestled for it, fought under it. But this year, Shayna Baszler is allowed to fight on this, and she's fighting against Masha Slamovich. Very underrated. I say underrated, but if you know who you're talking to, great women's wrestler. And I actually talked to Chad Too Bad before he had left to go out of town, and I said she's going to face Masha Slamovich, and he was like, "Well, yeah, I can see that happening." And they made that announcement, I think yesterday or today, about that. So it's just cool because apparently Josh Barnett has been good friends with Triple H for years, for like that. So Barnett went to him, asked him, did the right channels, and he's like, "Yeah, you know what? We're not using her, and let's give her, like that's cool. Like stuff. I just want to see more of that. I want to see more of that. You're not going to really see that in AEW. You're not going to see that kind of stuff. But the TNA stuff is promising. So let's move forward.
I don't mind it. Like, when you send your guys over to other promotions, it don't have to be the top guy. Like fans never ask for the top guy. We just want to, just see a little, how do you word this? Mm-hmm. You just want to see a little excitement sprinkled all over the wrestling brands. That's all.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be sweet. But
well, yeah, shout out to Triple H, shout out to Baszler. Oh, she's gonna tear it up.
Yep. Well, in Philadelphia, that whole week is all wrestling events. Like it's because it's smart to do that, set it up for WrestleManias in town, but it's going to be a huge week there for WrestleMania and for wrestling fans in general. But on another note, I'm pretty much tapped out here for the night, and we're going to kind of reconvene and we'll talk next week, and basically getting ready for WrestleMania at that point, But unless you have anything else, Sauce, I'm pretty good.
And I know, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy wrestling. Today, enjoy wrestling tomorrow, enjoy wrestling yesterday, and most importantly, be happy, be healthy, be safe. But most importantly, y'all be good.